If you're a new real estate agent and you're trying to figure out what is it that you have to do to succeed in this business and succeed at a very high level, this video is for you. I'm gonna give you the 10 rules to succeed as a new real estate agent. Now, these rules are not in order of importance because they are all critically important. And I actually had trouble narrowing it down because I started working on this and thinking about it and making a list. And I'm like, okay, well, I have too many and I want to keep it simple. So they're all equally important. And I'm going to start with rule number 1, what I believe to be the least popular one. Have a pen and paper in front of you and write this down. Rule number 1 is discipline equals freedom. Now, this is really not very exciting at all for most real estate agents because people tend to get a real estate license because they don't want to have a lot of discipline around their work or their job. They don't want a real job where they have a schedule and they got to show up and they got to do certain things. It's the opposite. I get into real estate, I don't have a boss, I get to do whatever I want, and I can make a fortune. And maybe you haven't figured it out yet, but that's not going to work because discipline is freedom in really every aspect of life. And I got to read to you one of my favorite quotes. I have it open on my phone, and it is about discipline. Self-discipline is a form of freedom. Freedom from laziness and lethargy. Freedom from the expectations and demands of others. Freedom from weakness, fear, and doubt. Self-discipline makes you a master of rather than a slave to your thoughts and emotions. Now, this quote says it all. And if you lack discipline in your business, think about freedom from the expectations and demands of others. When you have self-discipline, you are your own master in so many ways. Freedom from fear and doubt. Every human being has fear and doubt, but self-discipline will cure that for you. And it's going to be required because for you to make money in real estate as a listing agent, in case you didn't know, my channel, all I talk about is listings. You should not be working with buyers. You're not gonna have freedom with your time, freedom with your finances, and mental freedom working with buyers. It's just not gonna work, okay? You need to focus on listings and finding people who want to sell. That requires discipline. If you just sit around doing whatever you want all day long, you're not going to have enough people knocking on your door telling you they want to sell the house and they want to list with you. So discipline in so many ways will give you a tremendous amount of freedom. You may not like this idea initially, but this is a rule for success. Here's rule number 2. You can have everything you want in your life and your business if you're willing to pay the price to get them. I don't know who you are, where you came from, what your childhood was like, what your level of education is, where you're from, what your currently life situation is. It doesn't matter. I can promise you, I don't care who you are or where you're selling real estate and what's going on. You can achieve any level of success in this business that you set your mind to and you're willing to work for it. And again, maybe this is not a very popular rule because I don't know about you, but everybody would like to have something for nothing. No, I just want to be so successful. I look at other people out there that I admire and I'm like, look at them. It's so easy for them. Maybe it's easy for a very small select people on this planet that are born into some kind of very special circumstances, and they're born into a lot of money and influence or whatever. But like regular people like myself, and I trust probably you watching, you're gonna have to work for it. Now, here's the exciting part. If you are willing to pay the price, put in the work, you can have anything you want. I promise you. I not only have I done it myself out of nowhere, I have clients every single day from all different places and situations having amazing success because they're following the rules of success and they are working and paying the price every single day. There's a quote I love. I love all these kind of quotes. There is no shortcut to any place worth going. And everybody's looking for the shortcut. Give me the magic pill. Let me pay this bunch of money and you'll give me free leads and there'll be all listings, and there's not a lack of people online and all over the world these days promising you something for nothing. It's not going to happen. It's a rule of success. Here's rule number 3. Those who commit to nothing are distracted by everything. Another way of saying this is without having a clear goal, you're like a ship without a rudder. You're going nowhere. So everything that shows up in front of you, and there's no lack of that in real estate every single day, is a distraction. Okay, I'm gonna do this. No, now I'm gonna do that. Well, maybe I should do, oh, I just got an email, a buyer wants to see a house. Oh, let me jump in my car and go. Because you don't have a clear goal and a clear direction. You must make a decision on this. There is no success without it. And I wrote this down on this point. This clear goal or goals that you set must be so important to you. You can't live without it. What that means is that you are going to do whatever it takes. It doesn't matter what you have to do, how long you have to do it for. It doesn't matter what's going on around you. You're going to make it happen. Now, it's not easy to figure this out. You're going to have to really think about what's important to you. What do you really, really want? A lot of times, and I've seen this happen hundreds of times with real estate agents, they attend an event or they watch a video or they read a book or they watch a reel on Instagram and they see somebody with, like, I don't know, a private jet or talking about, oh, that is my goal. And they go, wow, that sounds exciting. I'm going to make that my goal. And it sounds exciting in the moment because they're in the situation, they're motivated by that, but that's not really important to them. So that's not going to get you to work every day. To have a private jet you couldn't care less about. And here's what I want you to consider. You have to understand that you must have clear goals, but they're not like set in stone and you're stuck with those goals forever. If next week you change your mind or the next day you change your mind, you're like, you know what? That's not important to me anymore, or it never was. I don't know. It sounded good in the moment, but now I know what I really want and it's this. Great. They're your goals. They're nobody else's. You don't have to explain anything to anybody. Your goals have to motivate you every single day to get out, jump out of bed full of excitement because you're not going to live without them. Now, this is critically important because to succeed at a high level in real estate, and for that matter, probably in anything else in life, there will be moments when it's gonna get tough. and you're going to have a lot of doubt, and you're going to have fear, and things are not going the way you expect. There are going to be challenges. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have setbacks. And if your goal is not very important to you, that's the moment when most people quit. And they say, no, this is too much. This is too hard. I'll just go get a job instead. That's how it is. No matter what you're looking to do, you're going to have to go through a process of learning, of discomfort, of challenges. And the only way to actually get past all of that and get on the other side is with clear goals that are absolutely important to you. You will not live without them. Rule number 4, work ethic is a requirement for success. This kind of ties in a little bit with the there's no free lunch, with the discipline, but it's a little bit different. When you see someone that is very successful at what they do, you don't know what they went through to achieve that success, do you? You're looking at the outside and you're thinking, wow, they make it look so easy. Or you look at a professional athlete and they do things that don't even seem humanly possible. And it just seems so easy. And underneath that, there are years and thousands of hours of training and commitment, mental training, physical training. They're mentally tough. It doesn't happen without it. And that requires work ethic. I say to my clients all the time, there is no substitute for massive action. There is nothing you can do. You cannot read enough books, watch enough YouTube videos. If you're in my coaching and training, there are hundreds, probably close to 1,000 hours of training, live role plays. Okay, I'm gonna learn all of this. And then I'm gonna role play and practice, and but I'm not actually gonna do the one thing that would get me business. So it really doesn't matter. There are a lot of people out there that know a lot and do very little. They're professional students. And you have to get away from that kind of thinking because, again, action is the most important thing you do. If I had nothing to learn from, all I could do is take action. If I had to pick one or the other, action is what's going to get you there. Now, when you combine learning and training and improving yourself on a daily basis with massive action, now you can have exponential success. Number 5. They're all my favorites. I'm passionate about this stuff because I know if you follow these rules, you're going to achieve, like I said in the beginning, more than you ever imagined. Number 5, definitely one of my favorites. Mindset is everything. You probably have heard successful people saying, oh, mindset is 90% of success. It's 100%. If you neglect to work on what's going on in your mind, the broken record of doubt, fear, limiting beliefs, every human being has it, unless you're like some enlightened being, and you probably wouldn't be watching this video if you were, okay? If you're normal like everybody else, there's doubt, fear, this broken record, continuously telling you negative stuff, or how hard it's going to be, and creating doubt about everything that you decide to do. If you decide that, as an example, Jackie talks about prospecting, which means talking to people and finding people who want to sell their house. Okay, great. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to learn scripts, and I'm going to learn how to handle their objections because they'll have them, and I'm going to learn the listing presentation. So I'm learning the business side of things, yeah, and developing like skills, communication skills, whatever. But I am neglecting my mind. You're not going to be able to sustain what you're doing and have success at a really high level long term. It's just not going to happen. And again, I've been doing this for 28 years, got a real estate license, sold a lot of real estate, been coaching for a long time, have had tens of thousands of clients on my coaching schedule. I don't know the number, it's a lot. And I know that this conversation of working on your mindset, developing mental toughness, is something that most real estate agents neglect. I love role playing. I could spend the whole day role playing, and I have all kinds of role play partners, and I could practice, and I'm gonna do this and that, but I'm filled with self-doubt. I don't believe in myself. I doubt that I can succeed. I don't believe I'm the best agent in my marketplace. Listen, everyone starts there, but if you don't make progress, you're not gonna have the success that you intend to have. So working on your mindset means that you're gonna take the initiative on a daily basis to watch instructional, motivational, inspirational videos like this one, training material. My training platform is full of them. You could check out the link if you want to see what we offer. You're going to read motivational, inspirational books. You're going to listen to books on audio. You're going to quiet your mind. Maybe you're going to learn how to meditate, do yoga, do something to be able to control your emotions. You have to do that. That's how you develop mental toughness. I think physical exercise is an incredibly important aspect of developing mental toughness. I'm thinking about David Goggins right now. If you haven't read the book, by the way, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, toughest man alive. You can learn some things from him. Mindset is everything. And under the same rule here, I want you to write this down. You have to develop, unless you already have it, a growth mindset. A growth mindset is knowing that no matter where you're at, you can improve, you can learn, you can change. It's all going to be uncomfortable because change is uncomfortable, but you can improve and get better and have amazing success. And growth mindset is the opposite of fixed mindset. Fixed mindset is somebody who thinks that my life and my situation and circumstances are the way they are, and there's nothing I can do about it. So it's not going to change. So they're just stuck. In the book Mindset, The New Psychology of Success by Carol Dweck, by the way, another great book, she talks about that. Fixed mindset, growth mindset. It's clear, I'm sure for you, even without having read the book, someone with a fixed mindset makes zero progress. They're literally planted like a tree. Growth mindset, they're making mistakes, they're learning, and every day they're getting better. That is a requirement. Rule number 6. You either win or you learn. That's part of the growth mindset. It's a rule in and of itself because it is so important. It's so easy when things are not going the way that you expect to get discouraged. But the truth is, if you win in what you're doing, amazing. And if you don't, use it as a lesson. So you have to ask yourself on a daily basis, what did I learn today? And you should write down 3 things you learned today in your business from what you did that perhaps didn't work. That's That's how people grow. That's how people get better at anything. And then side by side with you either win or you learn is learn or repeat. Sometimes we have to repeat the same mistake, I don't know, dozens of times before we learn it. I know sometimes there are things I learn right away. And there are other things, it's like, I gotta go through the same thing here over and over and over again before I learn. And that's how it is. If you don't learn, you're gonna end up in the same situation, having the same challenge or negative experience, and it's just the universe giving you another opportunity to learn, because that's what life is about. It's about growth and improvement. And this is what makes life and your business exciting. Can you imagine not growing, learning anything, how boring life would be? You have an opportunity to do whatever you want in this business. So remember, learn or repeat. You're going to repeat as many times as you need to until you learn. Rule number 7, you become like the people that you spend the most amount of time with. Now, this is a little bit of, could be a controversial conversation because a lot of people spend a lot of time with family members that are not necessarily encouraging or helpful or positive. In many situations, again, I've seen it from a lot of real estate agents and people that are not real estate agents. You are involved in relationships with sometimes even friends, because family, it's difficult to draw, more difficult, I should say, to draw a line than somebody who's not family. But way too many people are involved in negative situations, and it's like a fight every single day to not be influenced by it. And the truth is we all are. So if you're in that situation with family member or somebody close to you, I'm not a therapist, I couldn't help you with that, but you need to figure out how to manage it or how to deal with it, because you can work on your mindset, and that's certainly going to help you, to figure out what to do with the situations you might have. But if you're being negatively influenced and you're doing all of this work on yourself, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and sometimes 3 steps back. So it's going to make things harder. But again, that's part of learning, growing, and part of the challenges in life. We've all been through it at some point or another. I know I have many situations like that in my life, and hey, I'm here on the other side of it. So you have to figure that out. And with that, I also want to say to you, this is actually a Bible scripture: bad associations spoil useful habits. Surround yourself with like-minded people that are going to support you in what you need to do. And that's not easy to find in real estate. You walk in most real estate offices, agents are very unproductive. Unfortunately, brokers, managers are giving advice to agents, which is not always what they need to learn and grow and to make a lot of money in this business. So you have to find a community of like-minded people that you could hang around. And my training platform has that as well. And I know that's one of the things that a lot of my clients love about the training. Not only they're learning and growing, but there's this community, and they support and help each other, and they're motivating and inspiring each other. Critically important. Rule number 8. Don't take things personally. How people respond to you is about them. It's not about you. Now, um, I'm quoting some books today because it's appropriate. If you read The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, that's one of the four agreements. Don't take things personally. Now, we're human beings with an ego. And I teach agents to prospect, meaning talk to people about real estate and find people who want to sell. And when you're prospecting, uh, some people are not going to be very nice. They may scream at you, they may cuss you out, they'll hang up on you, they'll be rude, they'll whatever. All kinds of things happen. And when it happens, because it will, if you take it personally, meaning you get upset and you think like, oh, I don't know why they talk to me like that, and you get all down and it ruins your morning or it ruins your day, this is not going to work for you. You're going to have to develop tough skin. You're going to have to be able to brush it off, because the truth is, when somebody is rude, they're mean, they're nasty, especially when you're prospecting and you're calling somebody that you don't know them, they don't know you, they're probably just having a bad day, or it's just a miserable person to begin with. It has nothing to do with you. Now, is it possible that you said something in a certain way that you could do better? Absolutely. And that's where you win or you learn or repeat. I got it. You're supposed to learn from every interaction and conversation you have, but not take it personally. Not think that this is not going to work for you, you're not cut out for this, you're not good enough. It means none of that. And this is such an important rule, because human beings are meaning making machines. Everything that happens, like, what does that mean? And we always make up a story that whatever it is, it means something bad about me. I'm not good enough, I'm not cut out for this, I'm not. It's why is that? Again, when you work on your mindset, you're going to start to like shed some of these limiting beliefs and ego focused kind of thinking that doesn't help you at all. So don't take things personally. How they respond has nothing to do with you. Number 9, I love this one. Communication is not what you say, it's what people hear. Ooh, you are in the business of communicating. You're going to have to talk to people. I know real estate agents, a lot of them, especially the younger generation, they just want to text or send emails. That could be a way to contact someone and start an interaction, but you're not going to take a listing via text message. It's not going to happen. Selling a house is a huge financial transaction for people. There is a lot of money involved. They're not just gonna like, sure, press a button. They want to make sure that they are hiring an agent that's gonna get their home sold quickly for the most money possible in the least amount of time, is quickly, with the least amount of hassle. They want to feel confident that they're putting their biggest investment in the hands of a competent professional. It's going to require communication. And like I said, communication is not what you say, it's what people hear. How often have you said something to someone with an intention and they heard something totally different than what you intended for them to hear? How about this happens every day to everybody. Actually, this is how 99.9% of people communicate. They're not listening to each other. They're not able to clearly communicate what it is that they intend to. So there's no real communication. This point is going to require you to
learn effective communication. You could sell a house here and there without following any of these rules, but to have huge success, these are required. Rule number 10. We're getting close to the end now, but not quite. Leave your ego out of selling. People like people who are like themselves. Be a chameleon. You know what a chameleon is? I think it's like a reptile that changes color as it walks on an environment. It changes color to match its environment. So the chameleon is not like, well, I'm blue, so no matter where I go, I'm gonna be blue. No, if it starts walking on green grass, it turns green. If it's walking on a red piece of fabric, it turns red instantaneously. You need to be a chameleon too. Learn to mirror and match. You gotta leave your ego out of the way. You can't say, well, this is how I am. That's a fixed mindset. This is how I talk. Well, that's not gonna work for most people. It's only gonna work for when you run into somebody that talks exactly like you. But when you're able to adapt, be versatile, adapt. Now you're playing another game. You're fluid. You can communicate effectively with anyone. And again, people like people who are like themselves. And when you adapt and you're like them, creates familiarity. Subconsciously creates familiarity, where the opposite is going to repel. Not going to work for you very well. So these are 10, but guess what? I have 3 bonus ones for you. I had made a long list and then I started cutting and cutting and cutting, and I really wanted to keep it to 10, but then I'm like, no, there are 3 more that are just as important as all the others. So here you go. 11. Everyone wants to look good and be right. I never met somebody who says, oh, I love being wrong. Whatever I say, just tell me I'm wrong and I accept it and I love it. And I don't want to look good. I want to embarrass myself. And nobody does that. So now, if you actually combine this with number 10, leaving your ego out of selling, and you make people right. They want to be right. They want to look good. So when you're talking to someone, there's no need to say, well, you know, that's not going to work like that. Or even if you don't directly say it, you sound like you're making them wrong. Because 93% of communication is not what you say. It's from your tonality and body language. So you may be saying, well, you're right, but you have a tonality that's saying the opposite. People sense that, they feel that, and that's not going to work. Now, when you make them right, how do you do that? Because sometimes people say stuff and you're like, no, that's just wrong. I don't agree with that. So I don't want to say, you know, sometimes when you call, I don't know, Fizzbles and Expireds, which is like the people I love the most because they want to sell. So since I want to find people who want to sell, I'll just call the ones that I know are selling. Great, Fizzbles and Expireds. But sometimes you call them and they say, well, you know, real estate agents don't do anything, and they're all like, you know, a bunch of whatever. You know, they say a lot of negative stuff about real estate. Now, I'm a real estate agent, so I don't want to say, well, yeah, you know, we're all morons here. No, I'm not going to say that, but I can acknowledge and say, you know, Mr. Seller, I hear what you're saying. And unfortunately, I'm in an industry where there are a lot of agents that, you know, are not very knowledgeable and don't have a lot of experience, and they give the industry a bad name. That's enough. I'm making them right. I'm acknowledging, I'm validating. Write that down. You must learn. I don't care what they say, what objection they give you. I don't want to pay a commission. I completely understand. I could sell it myself. I have no doubt you can.
Why are you going to say, well, yeah, but never use but, because I'm telling you now, they want to look good and be right. You want to acknowledge, validate, and approve what they're saying, and then you say but. So now everything you said, you're negating it now. I understand, but I don't. So don't use the word but. Make sure that they feel heard and understood. That was bonus number 1 or 11. Here's 12. Listen more than you speak. And honestly, this would make your business so much easier, because when you're prospecting and people give you an objection, you don't have to start talking. Actually, don't start talking. That's the first thing you do when you hear an objection. You don't talk. You listen intently and learn to ask great questions. The person asking the questions controls the conversation. And you need to be able to control the conversation to be able to get a lot of business, whether it's while you're prospecting or on listing appointments, getting press, whatever you're doing in selling. Asking questions gives you control. And when you ask questions, be genuinely interested in hearing the answer. Don't just ask questions because they're written on a script. By the way, make sure you download my free script book. The link is in the description of this video. My scripts are very simple. There's some scripts out there, you call an expired listing and you ask 12 questions like, what in the world is that? My expired script is 1 line and it'll get you an appointment. But whatever questions you're asking, because you're going to be in situations where you're going to have to ask, you're going to have to respond to what they say. I teach my clients how to handle objections. There's some videos on YouTube you can watch on that. And you listen, you validate the objection, and then you ask a question. I'll teach you what those questions are, because when you do, you're in control. Now, you're going to have to practice these scripts and what I teach to be able to sound conversational and like you actually want to know the answer to the questions you're asking. Because if you don't sound interested, people won't want to be interested in answering your questions, and then it's going to be over. And this is the last one, 13. You must develop the ability to focus on the task at hand. A double-minded man is unstable, or woman is unstable in all of his or her ways. Double-minded, multitasking, doing a million different things. Do you see me distracted while I'm talking to you here on this video? No. All of my attention is here, because it has to be like that. Actually, this is the last one, but it's probably the most important one. I think that is one of the most important characteristics and traits of highly successful people in any industry, period. The ability to focus. And boy, is that a challenge in the world that we live in. Technology, phone, text, email, social media, and then you got to deal with the distractions in your head, and then you're being distracted by all the stuff around you. There is no way that you could do your job at a high level. Become disciplined and follow all the rules I gave you without the ability to focus. And again, rule number 5, whichever was on mindset is everything, is going to help you when you work on your mindset on a daily basis. It would also help you focus, eliminating distractions so you can do what you're supposed to do at a high level. Those are the 13 rules to succeed as a brand new real estate agent, or actually even if you've been an agent for a while and you're not having the success that you want. Apply these rules and success will come. Leave your comments, questions in the description of the video. Make sure you download my free script book. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.